My in-laws wanted to invite my daughter's biggest bully to her birthday party because he must love her. Now they're upset because I had to explain to my daughter that her grandparents are very stupid people. Posted by you/odd resolution 5357. My wife and I have 3 kids. Our youngest, Emily, turned 6 last Sunday. We recently had to deal with an issue at Emily's school. Last year, a new student joined her class and started bullying her. He would make fun of her, call her names, and steal her belongings to hide them around the school. On 2 occasions, the bullying became physical. It took us a while to sort everything out because the boy's parents were a nightmare, and nothing the school did worked. Finally, they threatened to expel him if he didn't leave our daughter alone, and his family got him to stop. He hasn't bothered Emily in months, and she is doing much better. Because of how much of an ordeal this ended up being, many of our friends and family members know what happened. Most were as frustrated as we were, but my wife's stepmother, Patty, thought the whole thing was cute. Even after we told her everything the boy did, she still insisted he probably just liked Emily and didn't know how to show it. For whatever reason, she's fixated on this. Every time the subject comes up, Patty says she still thinks we're being dramatic and that the boy deserves another chance. My father-in-law fluctuates between being angry at the school and agreeing the boy was probably harmless. They never spoke about this near the kids, and my wife and I don't give a damn what they think anyway, so we never worried much about it. We're throwing Emily a birthday party this Saturday. Because my father-in-law will be busy, we all had dinner together at a place Emily likes the day before her birthday. Near the end of the dinner, she started talking about her party, how excited she was, and which of her friends were coming. My father-in-law asked Emily if the bully was invited. And before anyone could reply, he obviously isn't, Patty added that it would be mean if she didn't invite him because he liked her and would be very sad. Emily looked at me and my wife. I told her, "Don't worry, honey, Grandpa and Patty are both very stupid. Don't listen to them." They looked shocked but didn't try to argue. We had an awkward goodbye and went our separate ways. My father-in-law called us on Monday. He apologized for what he and Patty said but told us he expected me to apologize as well. He said that I crossed a line by insulting him and his wife in front of his grandchildren. My wife and I have been on the same page throughout all this. But yesterday, she told me she was starting to wonder whether it wouldn't have been better to deal with this privately, especially since we don't like insulting people in front of the kids. Am I the jerk for telling my daughter that my in-laws are stupid? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. There was probably no other way to make your mother-in-law shut up, so not the jerk. What I find disturbing is that your mother-in-law prioritizes a bully over her own grandchild. Since when is bullying a sign of affection? If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, chances are it is a duck. Seen in a wider context, your mother-in-law enables and makes excuses for the kind of toxic behavior that men display towards women on a daily basis. Instead of protecting her grandchild, she exposes her to a bully. That's seriously insane. Ops response. Back when we were having to deal with the boy's parents, one of the excuses they used, referring to the name-calling, was that all boys behave like that around girls. I think about that a lot. Both because I know it's not true, neither of my sons are like that, nor did I act like that when I was a child, and because of how disheartening it is that people could enable that. Commenter 2. I wouldn't apologize, they were out of line. You have to take bullying seriously, kids are harming themselves just from being bullied. And they really need to stop with "he likes her and meant no harm." Nothing is cute about being bullied and harassed. Ops response. Patty's whole attitude about this has been infuriating. We've barely spoken about this boy in months, but she feels the need to bring him up every single time. Op adds an edit to his post. I've brought this up in the comments, but I want to offer more context on what the bully did. It was mostly verbal. He created a few nicknames that kind of, not really, sounded like Emily's real name and our last name. She once got brown paint on her clothes during art class, and he started calling her pig. He laughed whenever she spoke in class. The teacher would always shut him down, but Emily is already a shy kid, and that didn't help. They have weekly toy days at school, and Emily stopped bringing her toys because the boy kept stealing them or threatening to break them. He'd also take her stuff, backpack, school materials, and personal items, and hide them. We managed to get all those things back, and the closest he got to damaging something she owned was a small rip in one of her stuffed animals that my wife was able to fix. And as I mentioned, the bullying got physical twice. On the first occasion, he pushed her off a swing set. She scraped her knees but wasn't hurt otherwise. The school reprimanded him, but it didn't do much. A few weeks after that, he put gum in her hair during lunch. A teacher witnessed it and said that he grabbed her head violently to do so. That got him suspended, and the school threatened to expel him not long after. I don't think there's much I can say about this boy, except that he has very obvious behavioral issues that his parents refuse to manage properly. Update 6 days later. I'm very grateful for the advice and support you gave me on my first post. To get it out of the way, Emily's birthday party went off without a hitch, and she had a great time with her friends. It's always bittersweet watching our little girl grow up so fast, but my wife and I enjoyed ourselves as well. We talked more about what happened over the last few days. My wife made it very clear that she didn't care that I called her father and Patty stupid and didn't think I should apologize, but she was concerned about our kids thinking I was a hypocrite. We always aim to teach them to be kind and avoid insulting others, and it doesn't feel fair to hold them to standards we don't hold ourselves to. So Friday night, we sat the kids down and discussed what I'd said. We explained that I was upset at what my in-laws had done and was trying to protect Emily, but that what I said was still not nice and they shouldn't repeat it. I apologized for the language I used. Besides that, my wife and I also talked about how we deal with her father and Patty. I told her I wanted them to apologize to Emily, and I wouldn't say a word to them until they did. She agreed with me. After the party, she texted her father the following, this is a translation. The party went well. About what happened at Emily's birthday dinner, Op will not apologize. Patty has no right to tell our daughter how she should feel about the boy who made her life hell for months, and neither do you. I'll call you tomorrow and you'll apologize to your granddaughter. If your wife wants to continue being a part of the children's lives, she will too. And if she mentions that boy again, I'll have to seriously rethink the role we're letting her have here. This isn't up for discussion. She showed me the text before sending it, but I agreed with pretty much everything. They had a short fight about it, but he agreed in the end. I offered to apologize to keep the peace, and my wife told me not to. Both my father-in-law and Patty finally apologized to Emily on Sunday. We're not confident about Patty, but my father-in-law seems sincere. Either way, we've decided to loosen our ties with my wife's stepmother for a while. We're still working everything out, but we'll see her less until at least my eldest son's birthday, October. I have no doubts my father-in-law loves my children, but he's a very strange guy. He was overprotective of his daughters throughout their youth, but frequently tells us we're dramatic when it comes to our kids. And I never had any strong feelings about Patty, but her treatment of Emily's situation has soured my image of her. On a side note, the bully found out about the party. His mother found my wife on Instagram and messaged her to complain that he wasn't invited. My wife reminded her of the day the school threatened to kick her son out. No reply as of today. I didn't know what to expect when I posted here, but I was glad to see that even those who thought I was in the wrong agreed that Emily and her well-being came first. At the end of the day, that's all I really care about. This will be my only update. Thanks, everyone. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Glad everything worked out. As for the bully not being invited to the party but finding out, FAFO. Maybe if his parents didn't raise him to be mean to other kids, it wouldn't be an issue. Op's response. His parents enabled and found excuses for everything he did up until the consequences got too severe. The one time my daughter physically defended herself and the few times my sons yelled at him to defend her were upsetting to them. They disapproved of everything the school did to protect Emily, including moving their son to a different class. Commenter 2. I'm glad you taught your daughter that abusive peers don't like her. That kind of thinking is insane. I'm 60 and I hated hearing it when I was young. Op's response. Both my wife and I hate it too. It was especially infuriating when we were having to deal with the bully and his parents and Patty started trying to convince us that the boy had a crush on Emily. Hearing that the kid who was tormenting my daughter on an almost daily basis was just a cute little boy who didn't know how to deal with being in love was maddening. Commenter 3. Why the heck would that kid's parents care about your daughter having a birthday party? My God, they're deranged. Op's response. They didn't actually parent their child until the school threatened to expel him. Their reaction does not surprise me. My wife showed me the mother's text. She essentially said it wasn't fair to exclude her son and gave some of the same excuses for his behavior she had given during our meetings at the school.